Yes, unfortunately, people have been bombarded with propaganda for decades and without even realizing that. Well, I think the hottest international issue is that the United States is a rogue state. It's destabilizing the world. I mean,
does it worry you because you're American?
Like, I'm just sharing my perspective, and I feel like it's very important to share it from a Chinese perspective.
Hello, 大家好，欢迎回到外媒看中国，我是安博人。Hey you guys, welcome back to the show. We have a special show today. Check it out, I have a really cool guest, Carl Jia. This is the first time I'm doing this kind of chat show, Carl, so you're an awesome guest. I don't have a name yet, you guys, so if you have any ideas, let me know, but this guy doesn't need an introduction. Carl, welcome to Shanghai.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for welcoming me.
So you have the Silk and Steel podcast, right?
That's right.
When did you start doing that?
About 2017.
I thought you were going to say 20 years ago. You're not that old.
I'm not that old.
How did you get into it?
By accident, actually. Because I'm always passionate about history. And so I was invited to a different podcast, talk about Chinese history, a Taiping rebellion, in fact.
Oh, deep topic.
And then I built a little bit notoriety among the history aficionados, and then I took to Twitter. I started growing a larger audience because I like to share my experience with China, my childhood growing up in China, and somehow here I am.
A lot of people who are sort of in similar shoes, they feel like there was a certain incident that made them kind of more want to speak out for China. Like a lot of people lately, they say the Hong Kong riots really ticked it for them. Was there any moment for you?
Yes, this is Trump's first term. When Trump went nuts, go China, China, China. And I felt like I had to speak up about my experience, share what I know about China from a Chinese perspective. Because very often in the West mainstream media, you have many China experts who don't even speak Chinese.
They've never been here.
Talking about China that only exists in their head.
Yeah.
So I decided to share what I know about China, and apparently people appreciate it. So
I think people very much appreciate it. You actually, though, moved to the US and became American. How did that happen?
So my dad was the first generation of Chinese students, post-cultural generation that went to study abroad. So my dad went to US to study his PhD back in 1985.
Oh, wow.
And I joined him in 1990. So straight out of junior high, basically. So I started junior high, high school, college in US. And, I just changed so I guess I immigrated, with my parents.
So a lot of people might say now you're an American, and technically you are if you look at the passport. I was wondering if you've ever maybe had any little regrets, or especially now China's so amazing.
Of course. I mean, now I need a visa to come to China, right? But thankfully I have the 10-year multi-entry unlimited visa, which I need to renew in 2029. But you know what? People say, Carl, why don't you move to China? I would love to. If China give me a passport, I would trade it in a heartbeat. Why? Because that means I no longer have to pay taxes to Uncle Sam.
That's tough. No matter where you live in the world, you got to pay taxes.
That's right.
Oh
Death and taxes can't escape.
So you were born in Chongqing.
Yes.
Chongqing, your childhood, what do you remember of it?
So when I was growing up, I have a very happy childhood, right? But when I was growing up in Chongqing in the 1980s, Chongqing is famous for 脏乱差, which in Chinese means a chaotic, dirty, and poor. And it was true. But today, I would never imagine in the 1980s that Chongqing would become a top tourist destination, and for being a cool tourist destination.
Yeah, it's really cool for YouTubers. They call it Cyberpunk City.
Yeah.
It really is awesome. But a lot of people say online, the China haters, they say, well, yeah, you show Chongqing in the nighttime and it looks cool, but you can't show it in the daytime. Are they right or wrong?
They have obviously have not been to Chongqing. Yeah, Chongqing is a beautiful city, and it's. I remember when I went back in 2019, I was actually impressed how green the city was.
Oh, really?
It's like you are in a tropical jungle almost. It's very, very lush.
It's so cool. I was wondering, do you feel like it's a how did you describe it? cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's because you grew up there? Well, it's just normal for you.
Well, see, it's very different when I grew up in Chongqing.
Oh, okay.
Because back in 1990, the year I left, the tallest structure in Chongqing is this 3-story tall monument in the center of the city.
The clock tower.
Called the 解放碑, the Monument of Liberation.
Yes.
Right? That was the tallest building in all of Chongqing. And today, if you go, like, the little tower is dwarfed by all the high skyrise around it.
But that's still a really important spot in Chongqing for everyone who goes there. Oh, mostly Chinese will go check it out, but I don't know about foreigners if they'll check it out. But it's important. You told me before when you were in the States as a teenager, you were delivering the New York Times and kind of reading the headlines about China, and you had kind of a conflict. Can you tell us about that?
Right. So when I first moved to US in 1990, I was very hungry for the news of my homeland. So I would look for different newspapers to search any reporting on China. But back in 1990, there were very few. But whatever I found in the page of New York Times, they're describing a place that I have no recognition because it's nothing like the China I just left behind. It's almost like they're describing a bizarre world that maybe exists only in their imagination. I think that's still the case.
It's still the case.
Yeah.
And so you just check the paper every day and you realized... I guess you slowly started to realize it's bullshit.
Actually, initially, I just chalk it off as foreigner don't understand China because the inscrutable Orient is too hard to understand for the Western mind. But then later, when I grew up, I was very interested in the post-Soviet collapse, so Russia. So I started following this expat magazine started by American expats in Moscow called Exile. And, one of the writers was Matt Taibbi, and I remember he write, like, everything written on post-Soviet Russia is from a template. Like, he will literally, if he was writing a story about Uzbekistan, he would have the story all written up on his flight to Tashkent, and he just need to fill in some blanks with the names or interviews, and etc. And that's when I had an epiphany. I would realize, okay, it's not because mere cultural misunderstanding that foreigners don't understand China. It's rather, this is deliberate propaganda. This is how they report on what the West perceived to be enemy or potential enemies. It's straight up manufactured narrative.
So many people would say that you're a source of truth, at least against the mainstream media narrative when it comes to China. Do you agree?
Well, I just present one view, right? Yeah. China is a giant elephant. We are all trying to figure out the true magnitude of the elephant. We may just touch one piece of the elephant, but I'm trying to present the elephant I knew as much as I can. Like I'm just sharing my perspective, and I feel like it's very important to share it from a Chinese perspective.
No, I agree. So you're in Shanghai now, obviously, and then you're heading to Xinjiang.
Yes.
Can you tell us about what you're going to be doing there?
So I will be doing a road trip in Xinjiang because there's been so many propaganda and disinformation about Xinjiang in the Western media. I intend to do a travel log, document my travels through Xinjiang, and to show people how it really is. No filters, just what I see through my eyes. That is my goal, to really share with people my experience with China.
And you're going to a pretty unknown place, right?
That's correct. I'm actually going to go drive 11 hours through the Taklamakan Desert into a oasis village that's very isolated from the rest of the world.
Have you been to Xinjiang before?
This will be my first time.
Wow. Okay. Because a lot of people, I've noticed people who actually, they love China, but they say, I'm going to go to Xinjiang and debunk the Western narrative. They'll go to somewhere like Urumqi, and that's it. I feel like it's not enough.
No, because Urumqi is the capital, right? Yeah. I mean, it's one part of Xinjiang, but Xinjiang is so huge. It's the size of Alaska, right? Like we're going to actually take a flight from Urumqi to Kashgar.
It's still a long flight.
Yeah, it's still a couple hours. Yeah.
I remember I flew from Kashgar to Urumqi one time, and they have that mountain range.
Tianshan?
Yes, it's so amazing. Wow, and it's for a lot of the time. It's just amazing. You are in Shanghai now. What do you feel, is there any big differences from when you left? You left a long time ago.
Okay, I departed from China, from Shanghai in 1990.
Wow, so, 1990.
So everything everything on Pudong side, what you see here, That was farmland. None of this existed back in 1990, which is farms.
Yeah.
So it's a big change. It's a big change.
1990. That's a real pivotal time. Like, I guess so much has changed till today. I mean, I can't, but I've been here just 10 years and even we were talking before about pollution.
Right.
Just 10 years ago, everyone in Shanghai had one of those machines that cleans the air. Today, I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, I was back in Shanghai in 2001 and 2010 for the World Expo. And
it's even still so long ago.
And given that time, I thought, well, China, Shanghai is a great place to visit, but I don't know if I want to live here because the pollution is so bad. You can cut the air with a knife. But then I came back in 2019. I thought, wow, this place really cleaned up. I mean, like, one thing really amazed me is I walk in this street of this big city of 26 million people, and it's quiet because of electric car and electric scooters. Like, this is not the experience I've been to other cities, whether US or Southeast Asia. You will be always noisy because of car engines.
Yeah, there's so much electric vehicles here in China. Like, I recently shared online about those, those three-wheeled electric scooters. Like, when I first came to China, even 12, 13 years ago, they already had those electric bikes. It's shocking. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
But in terms of what China has done recently, because I feel like there are so many soft power wins for China just in the last year. You've got, you talked on my show about that game. What's it called? Wukong.
The black myth Wukong.
The Wukong. Yeah. That's amazing. There's Xiaohongshu. There's EV has taken off. We had DeepSeek.
We had iShow Speed coming.
iShow Speed.
Yes.
So for you recently, what is the biggest achievement that has come out of China that you think has maybe shown foreigners, Westerners in particular, that they were wrong?
Well, I think it's a combination of these things. I mean, now like China is a hot travel spot. And I think the greatest thing is the visa-free policy that China is rolling out. Now, like most of the EU countries and US and UK.
Not yet.
But everyone else, they just recently extended that to Russia. So many people can come to China visa-free for 30 days and to experience China for what really is. I mean, that's great. I think this is fantastic.
Especially for Westerners in particular, because they're so used to being quite spoiled by their passports. They can go to so many places visa-free. So I think many people wouldn't even consider a country that needs a visa. I think Vietnam still needs one. But now China's off. Now, I think that's a big win for, soft power for China. But speaking of the world, because you cover a lot of the world, you speak about a lot of conflicts going on. What do you think is the hottest issue internationally right now?
Well, I think the hottest international issue is that the United States is a rogue state. It's destabilizing the world. I mean,
does it worry you because you're American?
Well, it does, because now the country, the U.S. is seen on rampage. I mean, it's slapping sanctions and tariff on everybody else. It's not good for America. It's not good for the people of the world. And the image of the reputation of United States has suffered. You can see opinion polls after opinion poll. Now more people around the world prefer China to the United States.
A lot of people blame Trump, and a lot of people, especially in the States, they say, well, Trump's going soon, so blah, blah, blah. But I think it started on the downward trajectory much earlier than that.
I agree. I think it's the downward. I mean, I would think people like to say China live in 2050. I think China live in 2025. It's the U.S. that's got stuck in 1995. And really, things hasn't improved since then. Because I remember when how much I was getting paid my first job back when I graduated in 1999. And then when our company started hiring in 2010, 2009, we hired a new guy, and I realized he was getting paid the same salary I was getting paid back like 10 years ago.
Oh.
This is... And but the price has gone a whole lot more. So the Gen Zs in United States, and I think also in the so-called collective West, they're facing a more bleaker economic prospects than their parents, because their parents were looking forward to years of growth, where they actually looking at the stagnant economy and job market. I think that resulting in a lot of social tensions we're seeing right now.
And a lot of people say Americans are the most propagandized
Oh, it is.
in the world. Do you
No
agree?
doubt. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, United States, there's something U.S. is really good at. Marketing and propaganda.
Yeah.
Because there's really a fine line between marketing and propaganda. U.S. pretty much invented marketing. So in that aspect, yes, unfortunately, people have been bombarded with propaganda for decades and without even realizing that. And this is when this is why they have all these weird preconceived notions about China. So my suggestion for everyone is just to come to China and see for yourself.
It's so easy now.
Yes.
But I think it permeates into the whole Western sphere because
It is.
I'm from New Zealand and I feel like I had that same upbringing where we literally believe that we're the good guys, everything, our way of life is the best way. And if only other people could learn that. So when do you think that's going to crumble down because I feel like it has to come to a tipping point where a mass number of people realize. Do you think that's going to be soon or?
I think it will take time, but I do think more and more people, even in the West and United States, realize something is wrong. I mean, like the society is dysfunctional. Something needs to change. I mean, I think that's how Trump got elected in the first place. Because except U.S. politicians elsewhere, they were just using the public sentiment to get themselves elected, but they don't actually intend to change anything. Or in Trump's case, whatever he tried to change, he make it worse.
One last question, it's a big one. Do you think the US and the US-led West will become violent when they finally realize they've been kind of taken over? Or do you think they'll kind of just take it peacefully and kind of settle down?
Well, Andy, the US has always been violent. But right now, what they're facing is that they're facing emergence of countries in global South, led by countries like China, and I don't think U.S. I believe the U.S. elite, they still have a sense of self-preservation. So I don't think they will launch into. I don't think they will launch into a civilization-ending World War III. But I think what they will try to do is they will try to use sabotage, color revolution.
The same things.
Same thing. Yeah, the same thing. Proxy war, trying to weaken their perceived enemies. And I think they will, I don't see they change their ways anytime soon. But I do agree with Professor John Mearsheimer on one thing. He said it's not about intentions, it's about capability. But he says that about China, but I think it applies very well to United States.
The US.
It's not about intentions, it's about capability. Right now, the US capability to do mischief has been severely degraded. And it will continue to degrade. So that's a good news for the rest of the world.
So they're just going to slowly become less powerful and maybe become a regional power.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. Carl, thank you so much. It's really good to see you, and we'll have you back anytime.
For sure.
You guys, that's it for today. But remember, we haven't got a name for this special type of show. So if you have any ideas, do let me know, and we'll see you next time. See you later. Bye-bye. Oh, Carl, I got to give you my book too.
Oh, thank you.